Once again, good morning to all. So in today's session, we are going to discussing about process termination and IPC, inter-process communication. So already you know what is meant by process termination. After completion of the process execution, we must terminate. That means we must stop that particular process to avail the such resources by another processes. For that purpose we must use or we must terminate or we must close that existing process after completion of their execution. So that is nothing but process termination. So here whenever we are going to terminate any process at that situation after completion of their execution, so that particular process can cause the some specific system call. So to terminating the particular process, so that system call is nothing but exit. So this system call is used to terminate the particular process. At the same way, it will delete whatever the data was stored in memory regarding to that particular process. So that is the functionality of the exit system call. So by using exit system call, so it can terminate the such process and also removes the data from the memory. So in this process, whenever we are calling the system call of exit system call, so it returns whatever the status and whatever the status and the related data from child processes. So for that purpose, to getting the, while we are going to terminate, for example, I am the some parent process. Now I want to terminate that particular process. At that situation, so my responsibility is to check what is the current status of the each and every node. So that means whatever the status of the child nodes, such entire thing. So that data will be copied and then terminating that particular process. So here, while we are going to terminating the process at that situation, those process can deallocating by the operating system. So actually, while we are going to executing any process, so to start execution of any process, for that purpose operating system can allocating the such process. After completion or termination of that particular process, so here operating system is responsible for the deallocating the such process. So here in case while we are going to terminating the process at that situation, in case that is a parent process, so then while we are going to terminating the such parent process, so at that situation that parent process is responsible for terminating their children processes. So while it was going to terminating their children processes, at that situation it will check what is the current status of the such processes. That means currently their child processes was currently processing anything or not. In case currently those are processing anything, then it will must wait until completion of the child process and then terminating the such process. So this is for that purpose it was calling the some specific system call, that is the wait system call. Here wait system call is used to terminating that running process after completion of their execution. So that is nothing but that is the responsibility of the wait system call. So for that purpose we are using the wait system call. So in case that particular parent node wants to terminating that particular process without waiting for the children process execution, so for that purpose it was invoking or calling the some special system call, that is the abort system call. So here while we are going to terminating any process, we are using the totally three system calls. One is the exit, wait and abort. Here exit is used for simply terminating the process and wait is used for wait for completion of their children processes and copied their data. So for that purpose using the wait process. So in case if you want to terminate that particular process, in case if you want to terminate that particular process without waiting for the child nodes or children nodes, so for that purpose it was using the abort system call. So while we are going to performing the abort system call, so it will check several things like that particular child has exceeded allocated resources or not. So why at which time it was going to aborting their processes means, so this is the one situation whenever that particular child node or child process was exceeds the allocated resources. That means in case to complete that particular child process, that particular operating system as the parent node was accessing the 5 nodes or 5 resources, but to complete their process execution it requires more than 5. At that situation we can abort that particular process. And another situation is, in case we are assigned some specific task to the child node, but that task was long time not available. At that situation we can abort that particular system call. So that means, for example, here parent node was assigned some child node to do some work. So in case that particular service is not available for long time, at that situation there was no use of that particular process execution. That's why it will terminate. So that is the another situation. And another one is the one more situation is, in case the parent is exiting and the operating system doesn't allow a child to continue its parent termination. So that means actually here parent node was terminating, that means exit. So in case parent node was exit, but their child node was currently processing something, so to terminate or to abort so that particular child process, for that purpose in case operating system was not allowed, so at that situation also we are performing the abort system call. So these are the several situations while when we are using the abort system call. Next, so in some operating systems do not allows the child processes to exist if its parent has terminated. So that means in some operating systems whenever parent node was trying to terminate, at that situation, so such operating systems was not allows the child processes to continuing their execution. So that means if a parent node was terminated, it will immediately terminate their all child nodes. So that is the one thing, that is some so that type of feature was allowed in the some operating systems. So such kind of termination is known as the cascading termination. So that means while we are going to terminating the parent node, at that situation it terminates the all childs or all subparents or all childs and their leaf childs. These all things will be terminated automatically. So that is nothing but cascading termination. So in this process, whenever the termination is that particular termination is initiated by the operating system. So here while we are going to process terminating the process, for that purpose here that termination was initiated, that means initiated by the operating system. So in case the parent process was wait for the termination of child process, that means in case that currently parent node wants to terminate their process, at that situation in case that a child process was currently processing something, so to terminate their parent activity, so for that purpose it was using the wait system call. So that means to wait until wait the completion of the child process, after that it will terminate their parent process. So for that purpose it was using the wait system call. Already just now we discussed it. So what is the additional feature of the wait system call is, whenever we are invoking or we are calling the wait system call, it is responsible for knowing the current status of their children processes and then terminates their process. So that is the main functionality of the wait system call. So here this is the syntax for using the wait system call. So here we are using some process to calling the wait. So that's why we are using the process ID. So that is equals to wait of so process ID is equals to wait of status, that particular status address, asterisk ampersand status. So here what is the meaning of that one is, so here that particular process was invoking the that particular process was invoking the that particular process was calling the wait system call. So whenever it was calling the wait system call, at that situation it will check what is the current status of the child nodes, and then the status will be returned to their parent node. So in this process, in case while we are going to terminating the process at that situation, so there was no parent node was currently waiting for process. So that situation is called as the zombie. So and in case if the parent is terminated without invoking their process, so at that particular situation is called as the ARPAN. So that means there was no parent was waiting for the process. That situation is called as the zombie. And if the parent is terminated without invoking the wait process, that means we are terminating the process but it was not using the wait process. Such kind of process is known as the ARPAN process. So now we observe how we are using the multiple processes can perform or execute simultaneously. So for that purpose, we are consider some browser like Chrome or Firefox or any other browsers. So in these, you can observe at a time we can use multiple browsers for multiple tabs or multiple windows to run to processing that particular task given by the user. So at that situation here each and every process is creates this created by separate manner. So that means here at a time it can run the many web browsers within a single process. So in this situation, for example, there are two types of browsing is allowed. So one is we can use only single web browser, and another one is we can use multiple web browsers. But so in this process, whenever we are using a single process for all multiple web browsers, at that situation there is a chance in case is there any website was hanged, then entire browser will be hanged. So that is the drawback with single web. Each and every tabs was managed by the single process communication. So to overcoming from that, we are using the multi-process communication. So that means at a time each and every tab or each and every window is controlled by the separate process. So in this process, while we are going to implementing the multi-process architecture, at that situation majorly we are using the three things. So one is the browser, and another one is the render, and another one is the plugin. So with the help of these three things, we can easily run multi-browsers or multi-process architecture browsers. So here browser means it can process manages the here browser is especially used for providing the UI user interface, and render means to processing that particular request by the user. So that means whatever the code like HTML, XML, JavaScript, these all things was maintained or developed by the render. And the plugin means it was just for plugin into any specific service or any specific tab. So for that purpose we are using the plugin. So with the help of these three, we can easily implement a multi-process architecture. So these are the details about how to terminating the process and what is meant by multi-process architecture. So now we can discuss about inter-process communication. So what is meant by inter-process communication? So already you know what is meant by inter-process communication. So that is communication within communication. So there is some communication within some other processes. So that means such kind of communication is known as the inter-process communication. That means so there is some process within a system. So that process was managed by some another process, that process was having some another sub processes. So such kind of transmissions or such kind of communication is known as the inter-process communication. That means communication within some group of processes. So here while we are going to performing the inter-process communication, at that situation that particular system may be independent or cooperating. So to performing the inter-process communication, we are using the systems. So that system can be worked on either one of the mode. So that is one of the mode of these two. So that is independent mode or cooperating mode. So here cooperating mode can affect are affected by the other processes, are not affected by the other processes, so including the sharing data. So that means, so whenever we are using cooperating processes means, so here those multiple processes or more than one process, so those multiple or more than one process can sorry, can use the same memory for accessing or completing that particular process. That means simply those are using some shared memory to complete their processes. So such kind of processes is known as the cooperating process. So and next one is the why we are choosing the cooperating process. So here cooperating process means one process completion. So while we are going to completing or terminating any specific process, that particular process completion can be affected on the some other processes. That means it was depending on the some other processes, including the sharing data also. So why then? So actually here this cooperating process is depending on the some other processes. At the situation, what is the necessity or what is the importance or why we are invoking or why we are calling the inter-process cooperating process communication means there are several advantages to compare with independent process communication. So that's why we are going to use cooperating process. So what are the such features means, so here information can be shared and the computation speed can be increased and modularity and then convenience. So due to these features, we prefer the cooperating process in inter-process communication. So in this cooperation or cooperating process, it needs some inter-process communication. That means to complete this cooperation process, so it can performing some communications among multiple nodes. So that's here what are the several modes or several methods of inter-process communication means there are majorly two things. One is the shared memory and another one is the message passing. Message passing. So now later we will discuss what is meant by shared memory and what is meant by message passing. So here we can observe how to implement shared memory and how to implement message passing. So here now we can observe